Switch it up. So I'm trying out this new pack. I'm on the first day, Sunday, November 3rd. My first hunt of the year, which I was a little discombobulated with my new pack. So hopefully it all works out. And this little different camera system here. I got this microphone so you can hear me better, hopefully. So I'm going to do a little scouting trip first instead of going to my spot because it's only like 10 o'clock. And get some of that out of the way first. And finally set up after walking around this entire swamp 2 miles later. Come back to the same tree that I originally picked out, which is okay because I'm only a couple hundred yards from the van. But I'm right on the edge of the swamp. It's the island right there. And I can see, looks like I can see a rub right down here. I don't know if that's last year's rub or not. I think that's a bedding area. So I think the deer come across right here or over there somewhere. And I think they walk down this. Trying the new step system. Worked pretty good, but I'm at the Rub City spot again. It was raining this morning, so we stayed at camp. And I got in here, and because I'm on the ground right now, I don't think being in a tree is going to help me at all. In these pines here. Come over here because there's this old rub right over here, and then there's a scrape down here, and that's where the little lake is. And there's a bigger lake over there, and then there's the swamp that way. I just realized that there's this little ridge here, and there's kind of a faint trail coming at the low bottom of the ridge, and there's kind of a faint trail on the top of this ridge where that rub is. So maybe did see one deer tonight, lone doe, about 2:30. Usually I never see white oaks in state land. Into the this whole section from like here, from this swamp to the almost to the road, good half mile, it's all pines, like nothing but white and jack pines. Okay, I'm at my water access only spot. This is a little chunk of state land that I can't get to except for the water. It's been a pretty good spot, but at least the last few times it's been a dud. And there was a beaver dam down here that's no longer there, or I'm not sure. Couldn't tell in the dark this morning, but if it's not, when it was there, the deer would cross it, and this little ridge I'm on was a lot more activity. I did see a deer out that way, but hopefully this thing's working. So I did have a deer way out there, kind of going out that way, which is south. That's a big, like, wet pond. I don't know if it's a pond. It's pretty deep water. I don't think deer go in there, but it's a kind of a bowl. Goes out where the river goes on the edge of it. And this is the way I came in, which is a nice paddle, and I'm just parked right down there. And I've seen deer walking down here when I first sat here, first couple of years, and the deer would come up and go over right here. Okay, I was right over in there. This is that ridge. That's the lake back there. And the beaver dam is over there. It's a big dip down to that big wet thing, horseshoe thing, where I think the deer are coming from. So there's like 2 rubs up on that ridge, and there's a rub like right down in here. And it looks like a deer trail coming through here. And I saw that deer come right through here. And I think they're going this way, following this ridge, because they don't have to go down that. Okay, I'm at a piece of public that's next to a park that has no hunting. pretty good size, and doesn't seem to be the part you can hunt. Very little pressure, and I've kind of checked this out before and not seen a lot of deer. I got the camera here, that's why I came here, is to get my camera that doesn't have a lot of pictures. So I went and found it, and I think I was off the trail by about 100 feet or so, now that I can see everything with green up's gone, because it looks so different compared to green up. I thought I was going to set up there, but with the snow I decided just to stay on this trail in. Came at the grassy spot. Got snow last night, obviously. It's super calm and quiet. It's like you can hear a pin drop, but the deer are moving really slow, and I can hardly tell they're coming. I had two doe. I had a doe come in like at 7:30 right down this shooting lane down there. It kind of was staring at me and got nervous and turned around, and then there was another little doe with it. Came right through here. Came right through there, right through my shooting lane. Took off. Then at 11 o'clock, a doe was standing down there for a few minutes. Got some video of it, and it was looking like that way. Didn't look at me at all. But I kind of walked off that direction. It didn't go through that lane there. I gotta cut. There's some branches right there in that old pine tree that are in my way, and there's a dead branch there. This one. Got the climb paws. Got in here, no trouble. Snows. It's cool. It's kind of cool looking in here. You can see further where through that little grassy area is. And there was another bright eye on the tree right down here where I come in. I'm assuming he's hunting down that direction into the swamp more. As you can see, for a west wind, it's going right that direction, which is the wrong way. If it's a northwest. The deer's been standing there ever since I shot. He's eating my lunch. It's just standing there. Got some pretty decent blood there, I guess. Some blood there now that I can see it. So my tree is way back there. It's got to be a good 150 yards. Well, didn't find it. I ended up, finding blood where I last saw it, and I tracked it for another 50, 60 yards, and it hit this big field over there, a big CRP overgrown field, and couldn't, went into that field and I couldn't find blood because it's kind of this red brushy stuff and the snow's not real consistent. Couldn't even follow tracks because they're kind of just helter-skelter in there. So I started circling the field, and where I thought it would go, maybe just get lucky and find it, or find my arrow, or find blood or something. and ended up finding a speck of blood in the middle of the field. I didn't go around this one section, so I said, oh, I better go around it. And sure enough, I found one speck of blood on this trail going to this pinch point at the end of the field. So I went down, followed that trail because it was a pretty obvious trail. Didn't see no more blood or arrow or anything, but did go follow it another, I don't know, 200-300 yards maybe, but didn't find it. Just hoping just to stumble on it. Just took a few steps from where I was at. I was just sitting up there by that tree right there. There's a deer trail coming down here, and it's a pretty good sized track. I think it's a buck, because you can see this. Look at the size of this. Look at the size of that track. And then you went to the bathroom there, and you can see where it kind of drips. Drip, 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 and they say that's a buck. I decided to follow this deer trail down, going right down here, to see if it does go through to the island. It sure does. Trail goes right into the swamp, right to the island. So I'm at the KOA, and there's this one trailer next to me, which I don't think they're hunting. I think they're living here. Also in the campgrounds, so that's good. And I drove by this morning. I drove by my spot, and I saw about 10 deer out in the field, and I saw one really nice buck out there, and no other deer in any other fields, which was encouraging. And I got my setup here. Made it down here. No too much trouble. I did have a little trouble with the lights. So I haven't figured out. Ooh, who's cranking in here? Okay, I'm hunting in Ohio. Not that far from the car, but there's a big rub right down here in this spot, and I got the gas pipeline I came in on is right behind me, and I'm in on kind of a shelf, so they kind of come around somewhere in there maybe, or around down here. It's kind of flat here, and it's kind of a little saddle because it's really steep going down that way, but if you go that way, it's pretty flat. So I think they might either come through here or go through like this, or they might come through here like this. Well, I'm back at her today. This is afternoon. I did not hunt this morning. I tried to get access to the private. It went down this little valley here where I thought they wouldn't go, but it's pretty easy walking now that I was tracking that deer. Looks like they go right down there to the field. A couple of attempts and no one answered. And there was a van there. It wasn't there last night, but I don't know. So what I decided to do is about 3 miles from here, as the crow flies, I scouted another section that I've kind of looked at on the maps and never had time to go to in the spring. And it was looked like a big saddle area where the hills kind of meet. This low spot, and there's just scrapes all over down there, and just incredible. Remember, scrapes and rubs. But it does look like people have been walking down the trail because it's a really super easy trail. To get there. It's kind of long, but not that bad really. Last night I did end up talking to the farmer, and he did give me permission to go look for that deer, even though it's been 2 days. 2 nights, I should say. 2 nights. I thought I'd still go look for it, just to kind of ease my mind. And okay, let's finish this. Another walk around, and just came back to where I last saw the blood, which is just up here, not very far, up this valley. And I was just kind of walking around looking for a carcass, and sure enough, I found it. It was half buried, probably a bobcat. I don't think coyotes buried, but its hindquarters are eaten off, and it's pretty rank. But I did find it. I found the deer here. So it's a little bitty 8-point. which is cool. And my shot was better than I thought. I mean, it was back is what the problem was. I thought I was aiming right there. The hindquarters are all kind of eaten off, so they've been munching on it. But anyway, I guess my plan is